Hi, it's me, Silver the Wag. Here I am on this Tuesday. Like I said in the community tab post, I was recording yesterday in the morning, but things were not ideal. Where's the. Yeah, I'm a professional. Professional idiot. Because I keep forgetting that this thing loses power very quickly. But anyway, maybe someone will stumble across this vlog and not know what I'm talking about. But I wrote on the community tab, kind of because I feel like, maybe some people would wonder why. Especially my homie, but we've talked, so yeah. Let's not get into that. All you have to know is really that the surroundings, the noise, was worse than usual. And I did record that, some of it anyway, because I paused, but it continued. And I didn't want to have that. I ended up not wanting to have that. And then in the evening, I said in the community tab, while I was in the library, that picture that I took was at the library. Because I felt a bit better there. The vibes, if we want to call them that, were nicer there, so I was feeling a bit better. And I thought, maybe in the evening I'll be up for a bit of an evening vlog. I've done that before, so it's fine. But I was not up for it in the evening at all. And I don't want to be the kind of person that comes on here and cries or trauma dumps. It's ironic because I was talking about that in my vlog yesterday. Like, vaguely I was talking about the CPTSD diagnosis, which I was joking with the truth, that one of my therapists said that it wasn't CPTSD, it was CTSD. Because I was still in the traumatic situation, so it could be post, could it? And I was also talking about how the official diagnosis is PTSD, because CPTSD is a relatively new thing, and it has been being studied in later years. And I'm getting deja vu because I said this exact same thing yesterday, but whatever. This will be a double dose of vlog. Yeah. Before I continue, I hope that your Monday was good. If you work, well, Mondays are Mondays, and if you study, well, Mondays are Mondays, right? And if you don't do anything or you work from home, it's usually not as bad, from personal experience. but it's still a Monday. Not to be a boomer or a millennial or whatever, or Garfield, but yeah, Mondays are not the best thing in the world, are they? For people who have to do things on Mondays. Today I'm using the other mug cozy that I made with the jasmine pattern, I think. Yeah, it's easier to see it this way, but not really. Like maybe from this angle. Yeah, it's uh, kind of awkward, but I just wanted something different in this mug cozy. Because the tutorial was like for a very simple one, and I'm very thankful to the person who posted it. If I could remember all the tutorials that I followed, I would at least tag the people. I would not mention them because I think that's too much, and I don't know them. And that's not exactly what I'm doing here, even though my friend said that maybe I should try to connect with the crafting, crochet, knitting community. But I think it's kind of to tag people, I don't know. But at least add the video in the description. But usually I just lose it because I keep watching other tutorials and other things, and then it just gets lost. But I think if you search easy mug cozy with a bottom, this one has a bottom, so it doubles as a coaster. It's a really nice concept. If you search it, you'll find it, and it was a lot easier than this. I just wanted to do something a bit different. The person just did, I think, 5 rows of double crochet, US terms. I learned how to do crochet with US videos, so I use those, even though my accent leans more into the British way of pronouncing things and saying things, because I lived in the UK for a long time. I lived here and there my whole life, so that's yeah, that's what it is. That's why my accent is so weird. I even have a video that I filmed the other day while I was making coffee in my tiny mocha pot. Or was it the big one? I think it was the big one, actually. Was it though? Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, if I find that video, maybe I'll edit the video, and have it be just like kind of a making coffee on the floor. Video, because why not? This is a whack channel. And I was also saying this yesterday, that I am whack because I'm a bit kooky. Ooh. And odd, and do unexpected things. Not because I'm disingenuous. I was also talking about that yesterday because randomly got an email from Quo. Since I'm coming in and editing this, I will say right now that there will be a story at the end. That I will be translating as I go. But yeah, this is being filmed after the second part, And now I will stop this and I will film the rest. I will show my crochet and I will tell the story. But just know that this was filmed after the other two parts where I was rambling. And I will have to edit this one as well. Good thing I have downloaded an app. And I guess I'll test it today and see if it takes a million years to import the video. I'm looking at my fine lines. Sometimes I feel kinda old because of them, but then I remember. You've had it since you were 17, you idiot. Speaking to myself. You've had it since you was 17, you goddamn idiot, so it really isn't an age thing. It's because I have really dry skin. Like, extremely dry. Like, is the noise audible? It's dry. And I don't really know exactly what skincare routine I should follow. I use some products. I don't do much, really. I just moisturize mostly. And I use one with hyaluronic acid, which I read is the go-to for hydration. So I don't know if I'm doing it right. Honestly, I don't know. But that's what I use. I also put sunscreen every day. Not because I want to keep my skin pale as a sheet, but because I okay, it's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. Everything is fine. If you hear any noise in the distance, please ignore it. I have my ears plugged, which was what I did yesterday as well. I don't want to be that person who comes on camera and starts randomly crying and having meltdowns, even though these are mostly unedited vlogs. Like, I will have to edit this, but I only want to connect the two videos. That's it. I don't want to add any effects like I did to the video of me walking and running with my dog. Yes, focus on Teddy. Focus on Teddy. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Walking / running. And I didn't film the whole thing, and the video was over 20 minutes long of me just running around with my dog. My dog is 12, like I said. In the I think description, maybe. I think I wrote that in the description. I didn't tag it, but I wrote it in the description. Yeah. I did put in the title that that my dog is a senior dog, which is true. Obviously, a 12-year-old dog is considered a senior dog, and well, whenever we go to the vet and stuff, which isn't very often because vets are very expensive, and we don't really have the money for that. But it's considered a senior pet. I know it doesn't look like it, doesn't act like it, but yes. And I'm taking this good health that he has as a sign that he will last for many more years of lots of energy and running around. And I know it's possible because I had no idea, but there was a dog in the neighborhood, and I'm not going to assume, but I think, based on the way the owner was looking, that this dog passed away. But this dog was 18 years old. That's quite old for a dog. And this dog ran like really fast. It was a very small dog. It was this big. Like my dog is this big. This dog was this big. It was a really small dog. It wasn't a pinscher or a chihuahua. It was like this tiny little white fluffy poodle dog. It wasn't a pure bred. Like my dog is also not a pure bred. It's my dog is a mix of terrier, something like that. And we got it. We got our dog. It's a he. But I still have this habit of referring to animals as it. I never lost this habit. I'm sorry. We got the dog from a neighbor who had plenty of dogs. Like, I think he had 4 or 5, and they were all a family. They were all Teddy's relatives, and they were all small. They were all smaller than him. Teddy was the biggest one, and my mum attributes his size to the way he was fed. And that could be true. The vet says it's possible. And I one of the neighbor's cats. The neighbor has it's a different neighbor. One of the new neighbor's cats is quite small, and it's already an adult cat, so it's strange that it's so small. But we think that the reason for its size is the lack of food, because there's tons of cats. This man has like tons of cats and doesn't give them away when they're born, and I have no idea why. Honestly, I have no idea why, because it's not like people are not interested in getting cats, you know. If that was the case, in the old days, people would newborn cats and newborn dogs when they couldn't when they couldn't take care of them or give them away. But that's not the case. Like, everyone knows, because this is a village, so everyone knows. So when they come around and they see all these cats, and they see baby cats, like cats that are old enough to wean from the mother, sometimes they ask if they can have one, because people want the cats. The cats are pretty, the cats are nice, like the cats, you know. It's like that meme, it's a cat. There are like 4 colors. That's a joke, obviously, but it's kind of like that. They're not purebred cats like those Sphinx cats or Persian cats or whatever cat. They're not that kind of cats. They're just cat. What's the breed of this cat? It's meow. But people want the cats, and it refuses to give them away, so they just roam around, and that's fine. That's fine, because this is, again, a village, so there's the risk of them getting run over or eaten by foxes or, God forbid, coyotes. We don't even have coyotes. But it's not one of those things. Like, I've seen lots of arguments for why you shouldn't have an outside cat, and I've even heard about controversies regarding the way people in America were treating their cats and letting them be outside cats. And I understood it, because it made sense in context, right? The reality is very different, and especially depending on the place you live. I guess it's the same everywhere. In the States, I don't know. I really have no idea. I've never set foot in the United States. In the Americas, I have never set foot there. I have no idea. But I assume that, yeah, the cars are fast. The cats might get run over. Maybe they jump into someone else's property and there's a dog that isn't locked up or on a leash, and maybe there are coyotes, maybe there are foxes, I don't know. Honestly, when I was in the UK, outside cats were not really a thing. Really, they were not a thing. Aside from when I lived in a rural area, you saw some outside cats, and those were fine. But in the cities, that's just not a thing, from my experience. Even here in the cities, that's really not a thing. But in the countryside, yeah, that's definitely a thing. And the thing is that people who have outside cats know that the cats will return, because they do return. And another thing is that nobody puts like rat poison in their what should I call it? Cellars? Fun. Storage. Fun. Oh dear. The lean-tos, the places where they store the food, the cereals and stuff, they don't put rat poison in those places. So the chances of these cats going in there and eating a dead rat that has been poisoned is very low. It's very low. And because of the cats, there is no need for the rat poison, since the cats catch the rats and mice, so they work as a natural pest control, right? And the neighbors' cats the pest control, basically. You don't see any rats or mice around. Like when we moved back here indefinitely, it was a year, and it was a year when there were lots of mice and rats. And there weren't as many cats, and the house was a mess. The neighbor's cat, the house was a mess. And when we moved back, his sisters came and cleaned it. Like, yeah, that was a whole thing. Let me pause this because this will take a bit. Here we go. I was just connecting the power cable. But yeah, the sisters came and cleaned the house. Here I am again. But we had to place rat poison in the house. If you're watching this, you'll know why I'm smiling. Teddy doesn't like eat mice. Yeah, so here's the thing that I made yesterday. My one of those things is much better. It had to be done because mice and rats are very dangerous. But I picked this one because I like the texture of the beads. I have told this story. The other one that I made on other occasions, and homie knows this. But one of my neighbors. It looks much better, doesn't it? It looks like, it's also from many years ago. Sensory thing, like you can passed away because the beads. She stepped on rat piss, and there's no other way to. It looks very Christmassy, and she had a wound on her foot. She was barefoot. Save it, and she stepped on a rat piss. And she had a wound. This is very quick. And I'm not sure if you know this, but a rat piss is very, very dangerous. This one, I am very absolutely sure that I can find the tutorial for it. And I will got infected in the description box below. She had no idea. Sounding like a YouTuber. And I think it was neglect. I don't consider myself I think it was neglect. I just don't really like a husband. But yeah, very much. Yeah. He's a very strange man. Something else? And he used to be a firefighter, so yesterday, this. You should have guessed what's inside. But he had a mistress. You won't guess what's inside. Yeah. Countryside gossip. It's kind of. But people say that inside. He didn't do more because he wanted her to. Oh dear. So yeah. So I put this next to my. Bit grim. I suppose. Air freshener flower. You could call it grim. A rosary. If true. I don't know, but did you expect that? Neglect. No, you did not. It was definitely neglect. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. That's for sure. You did not expect a rosary. And she passed from sepsis. Tutorials on how to make. I did like my grandma.
Thread this. Let me pause. Sorry.
What was I even saying before I went on this wild tangent?
I looked at the tutorial.
I was talking about my dog. My dog, yes,
which
my dog.
I can probably also find.
I was talking about my dog. And the video that I edited and then forgot completely what I done.
Seriously this?
I remember that I added that song.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
Okay,
and then
that's
I looked at it and I was like, oh gosh, this is glitchy. Then I realized that the effect was really bad because it was flashing really badly. I was like, of all the effects
no, it isn't.
on this goddamn app,
what the hell did I do?
You picked the worst one. Why? Over professional
Idiot. Sorry about all the tongue clicking. I'm annoyed.
And then I was looking at it and I felt a bit of motion
right
sickness, but then
the little bow is on the outside. Okay. I can find the tutorial for this pouch.
I turned it off. I just added the trigger warning and turned it off. And then I went to try and watch it again.
And I found this.
And was like, oh, okay.
It's
actually fine.
Until the person started going on about
I realized that the problem was not a really motion sickness. I was feeling dizzy because
and I think I messed up whatever that was.
Nutrition
and did something else entirely
the best.
like in the middle.
I am sorry. I apologize.
I probably didn't do it the same way they were doing it.
And that's what I was mentioning about the random email I got from Quora. It was about why autistic people don't like to lie.
I was also
and the person
this rosary yesterday
had replied, and his reply was in the email. I didn't open the actual post. I just saw the
original
first
elastic. This is elastic.
I was saying that
this is elastic. It's something that
what
you can use
I also think that we don't enjoy lying because we don't see the point in lying.
I'd lost flexibility.
And we don't think we can get away with lies. And it's true for me as well.
I put this up for sale.
And also we're terrified of getting caught in lies.
The pouch is
which is also true.
A freebie.
But in my personal case, and I was talking about this regarding the PTSD or SD.
Since, like, you know.
The CTSD.
Things. Like, it's saying it's back.
TSD.
If nothing else. Well, I guess so.
That I was forced to learn how to lie. To survive, basically.
Next to the
and I was made to lie as well. By the reason for my trauma. No less. But yeah, someone made me a proposal for a lower price for the rosary. And I accepted it.
Will never lie that I have an ED.
I haven't gotten
and this is the reason why that lovely person
went
and messaged me on Tumblr. I don't know if they're still interested or not. Check if I can see anything.
Because I was open and honest about it. I'm not here to do body checks or anything. I'm just
don't see anything.
Here for therapy reasons. Like,
it's kind of annoying, isn't it, when people make proposals of things and then they don't follow up. Vitamins? Whatever you want to call them. I call it very well. I'm so sorry.
Red pill.
It's a joke, obviously. But, yeah, this... yeah, I have not been taking them. But I will start doing it again. I promise. At least that. If nothing else. Since it's my mum who gets them. Sometimes I feel like I don't even deserve this. So that's a whole thing, isn't it? Yeah. But anyway, I have a story. Sorry. Let me pause this as I try to at least get some change for this. Hey, I'm back. I was responding to that person and I think my coffee got cold in the meantime. It did. That's fine. Oh, no, I want to take this one off and put the the wonky one on. Because it's less nice. I just wanted a bit of I just wanted to try this one out because I've made it and I only tried it once, so I wanted to do it again. My next crochet project, aside from the top for my mum, is a bag for a friend. I have the materials right here, ready, and I will start it after I finish this. Okay. So let's see. It's okay. I wrote the story down this morning, actually. There we go. Okay. I didn't translate it. I just wrote it as I remembered it because my mum told me the story and I remembered it. It's one of those kind of grim ones. Subtly feminist, I guess. But not really. It's kind of a mix of feminism and also greed and the way people behave. Okay, so this story is called, let's call it The Widow and the Mourner. And I will explain the context of what a mourner is in this context. Back in the ye old days, there used to be a profession where you would hire a woman to go to funerals and cry for the dead, or a woman of several women, and this was a profession usually done to make a big show of the death of someone who wasn't very well liked in the community. Yeah. And these women were normally not very rich, so they were paid with food and things like that. Like, these are folk tales, very old. This one is particularly tricky because it has a lot of rhymes. That's why my mum remembered it. But let's try anyway. So, the mourner and the widow. Once upon a time, there was a rich widow, and it is as they say, a rich widow cries from one eye and smiles from the other. So this widow called a professional mourner to come to her husband's funeral and cry as it was the custom. For her husband's death. And so the mourner started weeping and wailing and shaking and trembling. And the widow said, Oh, it is what it is. And then a woman approached them and said, I'm sorry, I'm translating as I'm really sorry, I'm a terrible storyteller. I'll improve eventually. So a woman approached them and she asked what she was doing there. She asked both of them what they were doing there. And the mourner said, a rhyme. Here I cry. For someone else's husband. And this I do for a bag of oats. And I don't know if I will be given it half full or full. I'll read this at the end in Portuguese. And the widow was not able to hide how happy she was that she was freed from her husband, and started jumping, very happy, and also said, well, it shall be stomped upon, and it shall be counted, and I will add a handful to it, as long as this one stays underground. And after that, she would go to the church, and she would kneel at the graveyard over her husband's grave, and she would pray and pray. And then one day, people listened to what she was saying, and they heard her say, and here you lie, and here you shall lie. Our Father, from me you shall never hear, and the holy water that I throw upon you, I shall piss it onto you. The end. This is one of those grim and raunchy ones. And I remember this one vaguely.
I remember this one vaguely because this isn't really something that you would tell a small child, but sometimes my grandma felt a bit uh, kooky, and she would tell me these funnier stories after the more serious ones. And one day I'll do that. You'll have the Silva's grandma experience. Um, but she told me this one, and I remembered it vaguely. I remember the whole thing about the widow pissing on the grave. um, and it's sad that with translating rhymes and poetry, it's really hard. But I will read it. If anyone understands Portuguese, well then, this one's for you. It's for you, homie. And anyone else who comes across this and understands Portuguese, I hope you understand what this says. The first part, when the mourner says: Estou a chorar o marido alheio por alqueire de centeio. Não sei se mudou meado ou cheio. And then what the widow says is: Pois há de ser calcado e acuculado. E ainda por cima mais um punhado, contanto que fique bem depenado. And then when she's at the graveyard, she says: Aqui jazes e hás de jazer, Padre Nosso meu nunca há de ter. Nunca hás de ter. Sorry. Bilingual, more like bilingual. Aqui jazes e hás de jazer, Padre Nosso meu nunca tu hás de ter. E a água benta que eu te botar, hei de tamejar. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. This will get quite long, but it's to make up for yesterday. And I hope you enjoyed the vibes and the energy and the mess, the rambly mess. I'm so sorry. Maybe you'll have the Silva's grandma experience actually, because I was talking about something heavy just a bit back, and now you got to hear this, so yeah. Yeah, and that is it. I will be starting on my friend's bag now, because then that will inspire me to speed it up. And yeah, well, if you made it this far, thank you very much. I hope that you are well. If you were listening to this passively, I hope that I entertained you in some way. I really hope that you are finding this form of therapy comforting in some way. Because I come here and I want to just be a vlogger, you know? I want to be authentic. I want to be what I am inside. Right? A lot of people have this impression of me that I'm an angry person, and I am. It's a consequence of trauma. But that's not all I am. And I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here. I am showing this side of myself that not a lot of people get to see. Like people in my real life, like people who know me in person, they know this. They know this. But online, yeah, I guess this is the first time I'm this candid. Like, I am this not angry. Why is this making my eyes sting? I don't know. But, yeah. Stay with the story of the wild widow. I remember that my grandma told me this story. She would tell me these stories over the summers. I really miss... I never really liked summers much. The only thing that made me like summers was the fact that I would spend a long times with my grandma. And I remember that she would get corn, like corn from a cornfield, not whatever TikTok thinks corn is. And then she would sit on this very small. I'm continuing to ramble about my grandma because she's very important, and yeah, this is a story for another time. But I have this in me to tell the stories because they're not anywhere. They're basically not anywhere. Maybe this one could be somewhere, but most of them are not registered anywhere that I know of anyway. And she would sit in this little stool thing, something that we call mush. A funny word, mush. It's very small. It's this tall and this wide. It's basically something that you use not to sit on the floor, but it's to do things on the floor without sitting on the floor. And it's not a pillow because it's used outside, and that's where she used it. We would sit in the yard, and she would be like getting the kernels out of the cobs, and she would do it really fast with like the first one she would do it with a knife, and then she would throw away the knife because that was kind of dangerous, and she would grab one of the empty cobs, and she would use that to get the kernels out of the other cobs. I always thought that was extremely impressive because I could never do that. I mean, I was a child, so of course I couldn't. While she did that, while she did 5-6 cops, I barely did one. And that's when she would tell me these stories while getting the kernels out of the cops. So I have this distinct image of the sun, that little stool, of me sitting on the floor because I was a child, so and all the corn on like one of those sacks, like flour sacks and stuff on the floor. I was sat on the floor on the sack, and then the corn would go inside another sack,
and the corpse with the kennel still on were also on the sack, on the sack that had been ripped open and put on the floor. Yeah, this is very, very rural. This is something that sounds like it was 60 years ago, but it wasn't. This was 25 years ago, maybe. 25 years ago. I'm old. I'm old. But yeah, that is all, and that is enough. And I will be editing this as quickly as possible as I pull out the yarn and start the project, so that I can have it at the back of my mind and do it. But yeah, this is long. I hope you enjoy the story and the stories, and the stories touch you something. Like, don't walk around barefoot. That's one. Always check wounds. Be mindful of mice. Don't let your cats outside unless it's a rural area and you are certain that no wild animals will get them. And if your cat happens to get pregnant, just give away the cats when they're ready. Guess that's the lesson. The lessons for today. Also, if you're a bad husband, just know that your wife will be very happy if you die. And will probably piss on your grave. Yeah. But enough waffling. I'm so sorry. This will be extremely long. But yeah. That's all. That's wildly enough. And I'll be back. That's a threat. Bye bye.